2% home loans are not good enough. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to be talking about the 2% home loan guarantees and how some politicians are saying they're not good enough. Now, before we go through this article from Mortgage Business, let's jump over and go through. Let me just remind everyone, because there may be some new viewers, about the government coming to the rescue here in Australia. So, they've been keeping zombie companies alive. External administrations are, well, lower than they should be, because you can trade while you're insolvent, everyone. You were allowed to trade while you were insolvent. Isn't that fantastic? We had JobKeeper. Nearly 9% of the workforce in Victoria was being supported by this. Guys, you've got juicing of the housing market. The cash rate is at a record low. You've got home builder intervening in the market. Look at the spike in building approvals, everyone. This is why we've got timber shortages. This is why you're having trouble getting anyone to give you a quote. You know, I had a personal reference from a friend of mine to a steel guy, and he just had to ring up yesterday going, sorry I've taken so long. I go, mate, I understand. It's insane out there. I'm going to wholesalers for steel, and they're saying, sure, we can give you the steel, but we can't fabricate anything for months. So, first home buyer grants up to 88 grand when you combined everything. You got the 5% loan guarantees, which I was going angry about. Now we've got the 2% one, but don't worry, they're not happy with those 2% handouts. I mean, because that's what this is. You've got negative gearing, which is a systematic issue because we're so heavily taxed in this country that people want to find a way to not pay tax, okay? Here's the thing. Everyone is, oh, I'm happy paying tax. How many people pay extra? How many people go and voluntarily donate money to the ATO? Most people never pay tax. They don't actually do it. It's all done by someone else on their behalf. They never actually have to send a check to the tax department. Because what happens is, once you start sending checks to the tax department yourself out of your own money, or direct debit, or transfer it over there, then politically, you start to harden and become, you move more and more to the center. You know, your socialist ideas, all the airy-fairy rubbish, you grow out of that, and you harden. Because you realize these nincompoops can't spend your money better than you can. And then we've got the super withdrawals, which, paid for boob jobs, gambling, and also went to a lot of people's housing deposits, which is probably the smartest thing to buy in. Now, with that in mind, there are also issues with housing supply, because councils don't make it easy to build, everyone. There's so many regulations, there's so many issues, there's so many requirements. Legislation just gets dumped on top and on top of construction. The things that you need to comply with to build a house, it may sound good. When you're voting for this hippie crap like, oh, we need energy ratings for all our houses because it's good for the environment, that costs money. It always costs money. It drives up housing cost. It's stuff you don't need. If someone wants to insulate their house, let them voluntarily pay extra for it. Don't force it upon everyone. That's a cost. You've got the loan deferrals, everyone. I mean, look at who would have thought that would have come about? I think the only one predicting crazy stuff like this was Martin North going, there'll be unnatural things happening in the economy. Well, there you go. Who did anyone? Anyway, I'm going to have a shot of coffee because I need it. Did anyone predict that we'd have mortgage holidays for people? And I'm reading about these professional couples that were happy that they could get a mortgage holiday because they had nothing set aside. People on six-figure incomes. And that just goes to show that it's been too good for too long. So people haven't learnt the hard way. Maybe that's fundamentally what it is, everyone. So let's keep going. So let's have a look at this 2% home loan. So the family home guarantee price cap, Freudian slip there, faces scrutiny. Okay, so they're not happy. They want you to be able to borrow more at 2%. Just think about this. The Minister for Financial Services has faced some pointed questions around the new family home guarantee, with a senator blasting its recently revealed pricing limits. Now, this just reeks of the mess that happened in the US, where they're buying votes and letting everyone buy a bloody house. Mortgage, you'll be bailed out. And then you had the disaster that's happened over there. We don't want the government intervening like this in housing. No, stop. Stop. Oh, this is like the home builder thing. You know, everyone thinks, wow, free money, and rushes out there to pull their project forward. And then all of a sudden, timber shortages, supply shortages, labor shortages, expense goes up. Oh, and you're paying that back in GST anyway. So there you go, suckers. Enjoy your free money. Anyway, so the family home guarantee was introduced in the federal budget, aims to allow single parents with dependent children who do not currently own a house to purchase one with a deposit as small as 2%. The initiative, which will act in a similar way to other existing government guarantee schemes, will provide 10,000 guarantees over 4 years. Jane Hume, Minister for Financial Services, told Senate estimates last week that the government has budgeted for 10,000 families and will reevaluate when it sees what the demand is like. Treasury has estimated there are 124,000 single-parent families that will be eligible for the scheme. But the property price caps, and here we go, which will limit the amount of applicants will be able to spend on the houses, has come under fire. Now, this is you want property price caps. Okay, this is me going to be, this is where the comments will go, Florian, you're being too harsh. But seriously, if you can't get enough deposit together where you need 2% to go to buy a property that they're targeting, which are in the price caps, we should not be letting you borrowing even more. Seriously, come on. That's way too dangerous. You obviously don't have the capacity to earn enough or to save enough, or times have just been too tough, that if a few things change, you could be punched out of your house. And then you'll be on a current affair going, oh, we need the government to save. This is the government to save us. This is the bloody thing in Australia, guys. We're becoming, every time something goes wrong, and I've got another video I'm working on. Everyone goes to the media and whinges to the bloody government, wanting the government to come and help them. Every time. Is this a new thing? Did this happen? Come on, all these, you're watching. I know we got your demo here. Did this happen in the 80s? I was a kid in the 80s. I don't know. Were people whinging to the government all the bloody time? What about in the 70s? Were they always whinging to the government all the time? Is that just the way it is? You know, is this my upbringing as a first-generation Australian from immigrants not really, well, not trusting the government? I wonder why. You know, families leaving, East Germany, East Berlin. I wonder why I don't trust governments. The National Housing Finance and Investment Corporation revealed that property price thresholds last week, with caps to vary across cities and regional areas. For instance, the price cap in a capital city and regional centres across New South Wales is 700,000, with an applicant in the rest of the state will face a 450,000 threshold. In Tasmania, the cap is 400 for Hobart and regional centres, but the remainder of the state threshold is 300,000. In a recent Senate hearing, Labor Senator Jenny McAllister called into question the practicality of the scheme in areas where prices have hugely inflated beyond the caps, pointing specifically to Launceston and its threshold of 300,000. She referred to a recent article in the Launceston Examiner. The article says there are only two reasons come to mind for this situation. Either the federal government wanted to restrict the number of applications and they chose a price threshold to do just that, or the decisions were made in Canberra with no research applied to the numbers of families who could take advantage of the otherwise thoughtful scheme, or people who aren't able to save a significant enough deposit, we're worried about having them go into too significant debt, so we're putting this price cap on to limit their risk. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's we're all worried. Everyone's terrified about the bloody, lending restrictions. Oh, the Royal Commission come and save us. Another authority figure people are going to. The banks, the evil banks. And here the government is limiting the amount of debt people can go to with insanely low deposits. And of course, Labor's bitching and moaning about it. I mean, the whole bloody scheme should be scrapped. Sorry if you're a single parent and want to get into a home and finding it tough. That's life, guys. Maybe we should advocate for or push for a increase of the tax-free threshold and kind of taper off all of these other bloody interventions the government does. How can we stop the government from using parts of the economy to juice up to one sector? Maybe if ever they juice up the economy, it needs to be a blanket approach. There needs to be some hardwired things into our system. Yeah. Anyway, so Minister, which is it? Miss Humes fired back. This is a brand new scheme, Senator McAllister. And getting that calibrated is not an easy task. These are the numbers Treasury had suggested. See, it's always, notice this, it's always the Treasury, it's always the civil servants. So we can bitch and moan about the politicians, guys. But the real concern, the real danger in a way, is the bureaucratic civil service in there. Have you watched Yes Minister or Yes Prime Minister? You know? So, but if it doesn't work, or if the uptake isn't correctable, then we'll adjust accordingly. Ms. McAllister asked if the minister would consider lifting the cap for Launceston, to which Ms. Hume declined, saying she would not be making changes before the scheme commenced. Why should people in Launceston be locked out because your policy design isn't functioning, she said. Ms. Humes told her the feedback will be taken on. Green Senator, oh, here we go. Maria, what's it, Farquhar? I don't know. She's a character, this one. Added, of course they did, added to the criticisms of the scheme, calling it a potential government debt trap for single mothers. Well, then, why are you... Because it's only single moms, which is true. The majority of this money is going to single women. So, well, MGTOW boys, you can have at that one. Another incentive to go monk mode and minimize your taxation. But at the very least, we're starting to hear, and this is coming from Hanson's push, some leveling in the family court system. Long way to go, though. So hopefully more dads will get opportunities for this. Anyway, Nathan Dalbon, chief executive of the NHFIC, noted that participating lenders will still have to satisfy responsible lending obligations and assess the creditworthiness of applicants. Ms. Hume also commented that the scheme had been based on the new home guarantee scheme, which is yet to see a single default. Well, because they had, I wonder how many of the new home guarantee scheme people went on mortgage holiday. I wonder if we can get that data. Or maybe we don't want to see that data. That'd be a bit too depressing. So raised concerns about the scheme's impact on housing prices. Does the department recognise that the family home guarantee and the first home loan deposit scheme and the first home loan super saver scheme do not actually solve Australia's housing affordability crisis, which many economists have actually said and have warned that the schemes will further inflate house prices, she said. Ms. Humes responded by saying housing affordability is a difficult issue for the federal government to address. Well, I have no confidence in any government actually being able to address the housing affordability issue. I think most of it, well, there's two reasons. You've got the people using it to minimize tax, and then you've just got all of the legislation that is piled onto housing from all the state all the way up. So yeah, it is a difficult issue, guys. I think that housing affordability is a very complex area. It is driven not just by federal government policies and policy settings, but also by state government policy settings as well as market forces, she said. I mean, it's going to be tough for any politician to realize that they're not going to have the influence that they want. You just have to, it's going to be a generational process to wean us off this bloody addiction of property, guys. What we have tried to do as a government is give more Australians an opportunity to get into the home ownership business and move out of rental accommodation and social housing. Home ownership business, well, it is a business, isn't it? You know what we should do? What they should really do, this is what I would love, and this is one of Palmer's policies, allow you to write off the interest on your primary residence. Write that off. Why not? You know, rather than give 2% to single parents. And of course, it's going to inflate the price of housing, but who cares? Let people write it off. Just make it so, I mean, I'm sure the banks wouldn't, hopefully they wouldn't count that increased income, but we'll have to see. Anyway, she also referred to another budget reform, the Downsizer Superannuation Contribution Scheme, which would allow older Australians to load the proceeds from selling their house into their super. The initiative is expected to improve the supply side, the minister said. With estimates, it will add around $10 billion worth of property back onto the market over the next decade. The Family Home Guarantee Scheme has been given a start date of the 1st of July, but the minister noted it will depend on passing the legislation. So let's have a look. Let's have a look, everyone, at Lonnie. Let's have a look at how Lonnie is. And I'll bring this up. Now, I've been to Launceston. I went there for a university trip. You know, there was a States of Mind student architecture conference in Launceston and Hobart. And I traveled down there, and it was awesome. I really liked Lonnie. I went there years later because I worked for a firm that actually, and what we'll do is we'll filter this to houses and we'll set it at 300 grand, that had their head office in Launceston. And I remember being very jealous of house prices. So here we go, everyone. We have $300,000 house prices. So there are options in Launceston for people to buy. Let's have a look. Okay, we'll go up here to Newham or Mayfield. So it's a bit out of the city, guys. Not that far. A bit out. What do we have here? So, okay. A 3-bed. Buyers looking in the range mid to high 200s. Mid to high 200s, everyone. Okay, all of you in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, sit down. Okay, sit down. If this is the first time you've ever actually looked at Tasmanian house prices, you've got to sit down and relax a bit. Okay, just calm down. Because you can get a bit angry. Let's have a look. Under offer. I mean, look at that. It's perfect. You got a shed. You got a nice concrete. I'm just seeing all things that I have to do on my house that I'd already done here. Timber floors. Nice modern bathroom. There you go. I mean, perfectly fine, guys. Even a bit of a backyard. Who could complain? Who could complain? There you go. Little funny block there, but... So there, little 3-bedder. Little 3-bedder. So the north, east, west. So west will fall... No, wait. North, east, west. So west is going to fall on your living space and your bathrooms. Okay, so it'll heat them up. That'll be fine. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Mid 200s. Here we go. We've got one, 250 grand. 250 grand. Okay, nice little under offer as well. I'm not surprised. So you've got 3 bedrooms with a kitchen and dining, a mud room, a laundry, and a bathroom. I see these more and more, everyone. A mud room. That's a great idea. Rather than having to hose off outside. You know? There you go. Nice little, traditional. Oh, you got a fireplace. I mean, there you got a little yard. You got a little picket fence. I mean, she looks great, guys. This is fine. Sure, there may be some asbestos on the internal lighting. I don't know. You'd have to check that out. But if you don't touch it, what are you worried about it? There you go. 250 grand, guys. Here's another one. Under 200. Under 200,000. Everyone. And, okay, the politicians are bitching. They're bitching and moaning. Obviously, it's going to go for more than 200. I bet you. I'd be shocked. Okay, there you go. Fireplace again. I mean, it's not a mansion, everyone. But it's livable. You can live in a place like that. Repaint it. The roof, check for roof leaks. Is that the outhouse? Are they actually using it, or is it a shed? Is there a toilet indoors? Oh, boy. Where's the toilet? We haven't seen a toilet, have we? Maybe. I don't know. Well, you've got to get a bit cold when you go to the toilet. Here we go. 270 grand. Let's have a look here. So you got a little bricky fireplace with an electric heater in the place. People more and more are doing that. I guess it's easier. It's more convenient. There's some novelty with having a fire, but there's a risk associated with it, and it's a pain, and you got to clean it, and you got to maintain it. There you go, guys. So let's have a look here. Ooh, near the water. So this is looks like a townhouse. So we're over the cap here. 295 if you get in low. I doubt you'll sell it for that. There you go. You got some views. I mean, come on. This is a 2-story walk-up. The construction issue with one of these, it's very low risk as opposed to buying like a high-rise. So let's have a look. What's this? Ravensworth. Contact agent. Nope. Here we go. Oh, 229. A fixer-upper, guys. A fixer-upper. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. You even pass. This is kind of like what I'd... Yeah. Yep. Okay. I mean... This is a project, guys. You could renovate it, right in the city. People were living here. Is that an optical illusion? What's going on there? What are they... Is that... I don't know how that's looking. Okay. Oh, wait, that's hanging down. So there you go. You got a decent-sized block. And you're not too far from the CBD. 6 minutes. So what have you got? You got 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms in a weird configuration. I mean, she needs a lot of work, guys. So renovate or bulldoze. I don't imagine a single mum is going to be buying this place. But there you go, guys. If you want something close to Lonnie, you know, South Launceston, just near the city, for under 300 grand, a little fixer-up. Shit. I'm thinking now. One of the viewers is Tasmanian. There you go, Luke. Here's one for you, mate. Fix her up. Right in Lonnie. Rent her out. You know, bit of a project. Bit of a project. If she's structurally fine, if there's no water leaking. So, and finally, St. Leonard's. Under offer, of course. What do we have here? Oh, boy. That's an old one, doesn't it? No inside views. Okay. Yeah, this would probably be a demo. You'd probably be buying the land. But, I mean, you know, if she's clean enough inside, you could probably live there while you're sorting everything else out. Give it a good coat of paint. Or is that metal sheeting? Yeah, you could probably paint that if you want, or strip it off and redo it. You know, so there are options in Launceston for around 300 grand, everyone. Okay? It's not overflowing, but, you know, that's for fun. That's for fun. Let's just go out. Even, where else do we want to go? Let's go to Queenstown. Is there anything there for this? What can we get for Queenstown? I've never even been here. There you go, 280. What do you reckon, guys? What do you think? Parking at rear. What are they doing? They're running a business there. No, not now. I'm not getting the app. Anyway, you can see there are opportunities for people to buy. We'll zoom out. We'll see how many we see in Tasmania. To buy in Tasmania for this money. Okay? Well, here we go. Wait, we'll go right here. Adventures Bay. 295 has for sale. Is this the view? No, it's not. It's aerial view here. Oh, a little weekender. Oh, damn. Little holiday home, little shack, guys. What do you reckon? Yeah, having breakfast out there? Get a little table? So, what are the solutions to this? Politically, it's always going to be back and forth. They're always going to be arguing at each other. You know, they're not going to find the solution to this, guys. We need to end our dependency on housing. We're obsessed with housing and property here in Australia. You hear it. You know, people get into the business of home ownership. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that perspective, but the government needs to stop creating these. Needs to step back, because the issue is it's affecting our economic complexity. Everyone, you know, I have mentioned this one in at least a few videos, and I'll bring up a chart here. Now, the economic complexity is how complex our economy is. And a lot of people are bitching and moaning, oh, such and such government, you know, drove industry out of Australia. Well, there's a lot of reasons industry isn't in Australia. We've got councils that make it painful. We've got power that's expensive. We've got unions that demand insane conditions. And we've got government that is pushing resources and investment into property. Why would you start a business? Why would you try and start anything manufacturing in Australia? Anyone that's wanting to manufacture anything, you know, maybe prototypes here and then offshores as quick as they can. And that drives down the complexity of our economy to the point where, since 1999, we've tagged. We were at 40, guys. The Russian Federation is above us. Here's Japan. Okay, Russia. You know how the media is saying, Australia's finally caught up to Russia. It's bullshit. Sure, we have in the monetary value of what we're exporting, but the complexity of our economy has gone below Russia. Because people would rather, and I don't blame them, put money into houses than screw around with starting businesses in Australia. And then the trick is you sell a course about how you made your fortune in property, guys. That's it. That's the real money maker. That's the meta game. The houses, that's just for the marketing, you know, the bragging rights. It's the online courses that could probably make you a shitload more. Anyway, it may not make you more, but damn, it's going to be easier than having to rent to a bunch of people. So I'd also advocate we need to create special economic regions to experiment with some new ideas around Australia. some crazy non-socialist ideas. Really experiment with a free market in Australia. Wouldn't that be exciting? Can you see it happening? Can you see the political climate shifting that much? Hopefully. But I'm worried that you're getting a generation that's leaning harder to the left and wants to depend more on the government. You're seeing it in the young'uns accepting all this socialism. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one, everyone. Would you move to Lonnie? Do you think they need to raise the price caps? Is this just, the evil conservatives not handing out as much free money as the other party, as the Labour or the Greens would? Oh boy, we don't have much choice, do we? Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy my content, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us for SelfWealth by signing up for SelfWealth or Stake, using our affiliate links for Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Every time you sign up for AussieBroadband, I get $50 credit on my account, and so do you. So thank you to the person that just signed up. It helps put a dent in the internet. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.